Hey guys, welcome to my art room. I'm going to show you how to use your salt dough, which I showed you how to make in my other video, to make some different cookie cutter shapes. So take your dough. I'm going to break mine in half because I don't need to use this all at once. You can put the extra dough in the refrigerator and save it for later, or have your brothers and sisters make some stuff too, or even your parents. You can all make decorative ornaments. So roll it out with the rolling pin, roll back and forth, rotate it, roll back and forth, and turn it. If you don't have a rolling pin, sometimes you can use a jar or a bottle. Remember to put some flour down on your countertop so it doesn't stick. Once you have the whole thing rolled out, then you can pick the shapes you want to cut out. After you roll out the clay or dough, you can pick your cookie cutters, press them on there, and then you can pull out the shape that you've made. And then you can put texture on it with whatever you have. I like to use forks. I can put some little spike texture on this cactus. I want to be able to hang this up, so I'm going to use a straw, or you could use a chopstick or something to poke a hole in the top, and then put it on your baking sheet. Then use your cookie cutters to cut out some more shapes. I want this one to have a little band around the head, so I'm going to roll out a coil with the clay and then find the place for it. To make it stick, I'm just going to get a little cup of water, touch my finger in the water, and then on the clay and press it down. It's not quite the same as regular clay. You don't need to scratch to attach. You just get it a little wet and stick it on and it will stay. Put some texture on there, and that'll make it nice for painting later. I have this little bell-shaped cookie cutter. I'm going to use that to make a plant, actually. I don't want to make it into a bell, so I'm going to cut off the little tip of the bell and the little handle for it, and then use this to make a planter. I'll roll out a little coil, just roll a little snake. You can add some texture to it with something. I'm going to use this butter knife and then get it wet where you're going to put it, and then press that on there. This will be the rim of the planter, and after that I'm going to make the plant to go inside. So I'm just going to get a little bit of clay. I'm going to take some of these scraps, knead it in my hands, and then roll a big coil and then rip it into pieces. Then I'm going to roll and squeeze these into kind of long carrot shapes and set them down here to see how they look. After I'm done getting all my plant pieces rolled out, then I will get them wet and stick them on there. So I think this will be the last one. It'll be a very abundant plant. So I move those out of the way, get it wet on the bottom, and then just stick it to the back of your planter. When you're done making these, you'll put them on a cookie sheet and bake them in the oven at about 200 to 250 degrees from 1 to 2 hours. Rotate them every once in a while and check to see if they're getting hard. You just bake them until they're nice and hard, and careful not to burn them. Now that they're cooled and out of the oven, I'm going to paint them. You can use different kind of paint to paint yours. I'm going to use watercolor and also a little bit of crayon. The crayon will stay crayon color, and then I'm going to paint over it with watercolor, and it won't stick to where I put the crayon. So I just put a little details in the crayon and then get my brush wet in the paint and then in the mixing tray, and then just paint the color where I want it. If you have a different kind of paint you prefer to use, you can. I just have watercolor paint available, so that's what I'm going to use. You don't just have to paint the front, you can also paint the edges and the back too. If you hang it up and it turns around, you can still have the back look nice. Be creative with the way you color it. Try some new color combinations. This one I'm going to do yellow and then red paint over the top. And then when I color in the plant itself, I'm going to see what happens if I use these Crayola markers to color it. If you don't have paint, this might be a good option to use. So I'm going to color with Crayola marker and then brush with water over the top and see how it looks. I put a little paint on there, but you can also see what happens if you don't add paint with it. When you're done painting, wait for these to dry completely, and then you can get some Mod Podge or a kind of shiny clear paint to make your creations nice and shiny. So I just put a layer or two of Mod Podge on here, and then I'll set them out to dry, and then they'll be nice and shiny. Thanks for watching. I can't wait to see what you come up with.